Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Stallions Run. Of course, as always, I'm your host, Buck, with Scout, as always. Scout, looks like we have a lot of news to get into.
Yeah, for sure. We thought Matt Corral was going to be the biggest news of the offseason, and then hey, we have even more this week. But yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, let's get right into things. So, starting off the day the show dropped, of course, as people know, we recorded the night before. We dropped it on Wednesday. Wednesday brought us some news that was kind of shocking. I was not expecting this at all, and this is kind of a name that I thought was going to be sticking with the Stallions through the entire season. Eli Walker was waived from the Stallions. In comes AJ Thomas. Of course, Eli Walker is a full safety. AJ Thomas is a safety also. A lot of shock to this announcement. I for one was someone who was I don't know. It kind of caught me off guard with how it just kind of came. Because a lot of people like myself, it was like, all right, this is the Stallions probably a starting safety throughout the rest of the season. Well, he's now gone. I mean, Scott, let's just get off to things right there. What's your thoughts on Eli Walker gone from the Stallions?
Um, yeah, I think he was one of those where it's like we gathered so much talent through the drafts, through all that, that he was one of the ones on the older side, and I think he just like when you have so much talent, you have to get rid of a few of them. And I don't know if it was like a front office decision or if it was a him decision, because that could be a conversation they had of like, hey, we're not sure if he could play every rep. We like this guy better. Could be something like that. Could be something different. I don't think we'll hear that anytime soon. But yeah. But we did bring in AJ Thomas, guy from Western Michigan. He also was undrafted in 2022, and he was with the Bears for a little bit, and now he's with us. But I like him though. I did look at a little bit of tape on him. He is big, he's sizable. I don't know if they can slide him down to corner, but that could be one of the issues with Walker that they didn't have with Thomas. Obviously, I'm just spitballing here. I'm not saying exactly, but I do think that we were overloaded at safety versus like we didn't have the same amount of talent
Mhm.
at corner specifically. So we might have looked for a more hybrid safety. That's really my only explanation. I was the same as you. I thought Eli would play for us. I thought Eli would be a great addition. We also got Tazina from Pittsburgh, so I thought they would have like some form of chemistry. But sadly Walker got waived, and now we have AJ Thomas. So.
Mm. Um, I guess that kind of asks the question though. Do personally, if you were in Zach Potter's shoes in this scenario, would you've seen the film? Would you have made this decision, or are you someone who would have kept Eli Walker around?
Um, Obviously I'm not there every day. Obviously I'm not the one that's, just like I'm not the one that's watching like their skill sets per se. But I assume at this point with like the skill set that we know Eli Walker has, is that there was a conversation basically of playtime, or not
Mm-hmm.
even necessarily playtime, but you know what I mean, just like the fit and whatever. If it wasn't perfect across the board, it gives him time to potentially find another team before the season starts. Um, but yeah, but it could be a variety of things. I know a lot of people, they call it different, interesting. I don't think a lot of people saw it coming. Um, but but he was definitely one of the best safeties the last few years. I know he's been in a ton of different leagues, spring leagues. But I think Eli Walker will definitely find a way onto a team this spring, or if he doesn't find a way onto a team this spring, he should be able to find a way onto a team this fall with the NFL. But definitely a name that we'll watch on the way out, and we'll be excited for having AJ Thomas here. So.
All right. Well, that's been our only player transaction throughout the week that we can report on. So, as we're heading into camp, I don't think we're going to see a lot more of these unless something surprising happens. But before we talk about camp, we did have one kind of an exciting piece of aesthetic news kind of came out a couple days ago. We now know what the UFL game ball is going to look like, Scout.
Mm.
I guess the best way to describe it is a simplified version of the USFL game ball. You of course have the UFL logo and in all its glory, but also each ball is going to have the team's logo to kind of go along with it. So that means, of course, Birmingham Stallions ball, it'll have the Birmingham logo. St. Louis, it's going to have the St. Louis logo. Scout, I guess your thoughts first off on just the ball design itself.
Yeah, so I would say not only is it a simplified USFL ball, it's almost an exact XFL ball from last year. The XFL ball last year had a little script under it with I forgot which commissioner it was that had his signature there. But yeah, but I do like the design. They physically revealed it at Daytona, or one of the balls, because
Mm-hmm.
I think it's two-sided, where one side has, you know, the USFL conference, XFL conference, and the other side has the bigger logo. I do like the bigger logo.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, as a college guy, I prefer the stripes on the ball. I know it's just a thing that they develop for nighttime games, but stripes would have been cool in my opinion. But yeah, but it's a pro ball, so you know they wanted to keep it as real as possible. I know how to tell you, all balls when they first come out are red, like a reddish pink color. And then they put mud on it, like a baseball or anything. Like they just put some mud on it, and that's what gives it that brown, sticky texture. Um, but yeah, but I think it'll be cool. Will I be buying one for that price? Probably not. But if I
Yeah,
find myself with my
they
hands
are
on
for
one,
yeah. It is $175 per ball according to the UFL shop right now. So
yeah.
maybe I'm personally going to be waiting if it's on sale. Then I might pick up one. But then I know I personally love this. I love how they have like it looks like for each team they're going to have the team's logo on their own ball.
Yeah.
I guess your thoughts on having kind of personalized balls for the teams.
So, mm, I have a love-hate relationship with how they went about this. So the XFL, when it was in 2020, also had the large font, and it had the same color for all the teams. But in college, and then even some, I believe, other pro leagues, the balls are colored to the home team. Like the UFL for the Stallions purposes might be cardinal and gold, or you know, we're going to Arlington game one, it might be blue and black. Um, but so it's like I feel like they could do better with it, but there's a few different changes that I would have made personally. But obviously, you know, somebody got paid a lot of money to come up with that design, to find the marketability for that design. And I think with everything with this league, it's like how do I say it? Um, it's trying to be its brand. It's trying to be a brand, right?
Mm,
Like
okay, yeah,
it's trying to be distinguishable. It's trying to be its own thing. So I think that's where the silver comes from in it. I'm not sure if they'll have it in the game, because I feel like that's a potential, like, oh, it's gonna like glare or something. But yeah. And the funniest thing is though is that, and I had to Google this just to make sure, but the one The Rock had at Daytona did not have on the sides. It didn't have like the extra stripe. So I'm not sure if
mm,
if the ball that we see in the middle of the game will be any different than, you know, um, will be different
yeah.
from the
I
ball
mean,
that
that could have been a
we
prototype
see.
ball that he
Yeah.
had. So something to kind of think about right there. All right, well, kind of moving on. Training camp is upon us. This Friday and Saturday, players are going to start reporting to Arlington for training camp. I know that this is an exciting time, but we also kind of have to start looking at cut downs. March 10th,
No.
the rosters for all UFL teams have to be cut down to 58 players. So that's going to be a really tough decision. We've already seen some teams they had to get down to the 75 mark. The Stallions did not have to worry about that because they were already at that 75 mark. So main teams affected like San Antonio, who had over 90 players at one point. But Scout, I said before the start of the show, we are going to pick. This is going to hurt some people. Kind of 5 potential cuts that we could see. I think that kind of will surprise people because again, they got to cut down to just about 18 players. Excuse me, 17 players, and we're probably going to see a couple of returning Stallions, unfortunately, not make it onto the team. So I guess let's get right into things. The first name I think that could be kind of a shock cut. The way I'm looking at this roster right now, I know apparently some rosters are not super in date, so this could be changing as we're getting into time. I think unfortunately, Bro Scarborough might be a cut candidate for the March 10th deadline. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think we're probably gonna go in with 4 backs, including Bobby Holly, and I don't think Bobby Holly's gonna get cut. So I think, yeah, Bo, sadly, like it's what we talked about last time. Now he could now his one in here is if it's not between Roundtree, Person, and Bo, if it's just between Bo and or it's just between Roundtree and Person, right? Like if they want to keep Bo in as that goal line back, as
Mm,
that extra power back for Bobby Holly, and then they want to keep 2 finesse, 2 power. Um, but yeah, but it's gonna be tough. I do think that we're gonna cut one running back, or at least cut and then have him on. Like I know we talked about Bo being, potentially he still might be there even if he does get cut. I'm not trying to put words in anyone's mouth, but he could be the type where he's created this relationship with all these coaches, all these players, all these fans. He's an Alabama legend already,
mm,
and that could just be something where he's. But yeah.
yeah. All
But
right. So then, who do you agree with that potential idea of being a cut, or do you have someone else in mind from that running back room?
Not for the running back room, necessarily, unless if it's what I just said, where it's Roundtree and Person. And between Roundtree and Person, oh, that's tough. I think they're about dead even, and I think if they're dead even, then Roundtree, even though he's the newcomer, he probably gets the axe. I think that they really like Person. They brought him in mid-season last year. They want to make sure that
Mm,
if not that if CJ goes down, but they want to make sure that they get Ricky at least like I would say at least running back 2 numbers, receptions, touches, that type of thing. Um, but
mm.
yeah, but Bo might be the tough one to cut. Um, but
All right. Yeah. All right. So then, who's a cut candidate for you?
um, jeez, put me on the spot. There's
Very
a,
well.
there's a few positions. There's a few positions. Um, I feel like we're definitely at least
Well, we're
one.
definitely seeing a cornerback cut. Yeah, cornerback cut.
Yes,
We're going to be seeing
corner,
that is a
corner.
loaded room.
Yes, QB, and corner are both gonna be gone, and I'm not really on my QB currently. I'll still rest on that, but I think
Oh,
um, defensive backs is gonna be the more intense room. There's a
mhm.
ton here where I'm like, because like I don't think they want to get rid of like a lot of these guys. Like I think they're probably gonna find a
Oh yeah.
way. They're gonna find a way to keep a few of them. I think they'll find a way to keep Stripling. They had to give a lot to get him.
Oh yeah.
Bonds is
I think
definitely staying.
I
You think who?
that's the thing I was going to say. I think Terrell Bonds might be a cut candidate.
He
Unfortunately.
could be. I just think they like his size too much. I think his size, pursuit, that type of thing. He'll find the field,
Mm,
even not at corner as a special teamer. Um, I think the same thing can be said for Burns. But it gets
What about
tough
Brown though?
past that. Ike Brown, yeah. There's a certain point where it just gets tough. Like you're not sure how many because we need to when you need to cut 22 of these guys.
Oh
Or
no,
wait,
it's
how?
17. It's
Oh, 17. My
75
fault.
minus 58. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I went to the
uh,
NFL 53.
yeah,
Um, but yeah. So when you have to cut 17 of those guys, even it's like because he if it's one corner, right, and then you only want to go in with four backs, so you cut one back, and then we have what is it, 10 receivers. Um,
yeah. Oh,
so
that's good. That's gonna be some more cuts. Another one I'm
yeah,
looking at is linebacker. Unfortunately, like that's
no.
I see some names on there, and of course there's one famous name. I think it's gonna make it through. Of course, but then you have additions like Marcus Gates, who was with the Bears, of course, after
So
come with his science in 2022. It's like, ugh,
I think so. You definitely keep Tazina. You definitely keep Gates and Wright. So those are your core three, right? And then
mhm,
I feel like Orr is a very solid fourth. And then here's my off the wall, Dewan Lloyd from Indiana, Pennsylvania. Um,
mhm,
he's a guy they got off the wall, and he's a guy they brought back. And there was not a lot of these
yep,
small school guys that got brought back, and he's like a very small school guy. Um,
mhm,
so like I feel like they have a bigger idea for like for um like keeping them on, and then you can probably ride out with those five. Obviously, I mean that Elijah Sullivan and Travin Howard are gone, but you probably ride out with five. I know that Von Lloyd might be a crazy addition because he didn't see the field that much last year. He was mid-season signing, like a lot of these guys were. But I just think like it's one of those that like it's a red marker on the page. Like it was a questionable, or I don't want to say questionable signing, but it's like it's one of those that scout had to work his butt off to get his name on there, if you know what I mean.
mhm,
Like he had to dig far to see a talent like that and then be able to be like, hey, I want him. Um, but
yeah,
yeah, but we could keep four or five linebackers, I would assume. And you want to keep, in my opinion, like I feel like Gates and Orr could both be a not every down edge, but they could go in as the edge if you wanted to go like five down or something like that, um, or even a lighter three down look. But yeah, but there's so many names. We probably need like a whole show just dedicated to
yeah.
who, what,
Um,
where, why.
yeah, but here's another one. Here's the position I'm very interested to see how they're going to respond to because unfortunately, more names than they really need. Slot.
Yeah. Well,
I
like
mean, Mari Rogers, Slade Bolden, both new additions already. Then Marlon Williams and Myron Mitchell coming back. Who are you going to cut? I mean,
so. Well, I
Bolden,
mean,
I
like
think
I
you got to
think
keep. Go
I
ahead.
feel like those four you can probably all keep. You can put Marlon outside. You can put Myron outside if you really wanted to. Um,
But so
but
who do you think is going to be unfortunately the cut candidate then for wide receivers? So because all right, you already
because it's
got
like
you got 10 guys in that room.
yeah.
You got to get two people at least out.
I have a crazy name that I think isn't gonna get cut. I feel like Kevin Austin's gonna find his way onto the field.
Mhm.
He's another guy that could be a back. Kevin Austin Jr. I think the
Yeah, yeah.
receiver.
And
Um,
he's got quite a little stint with Jacksonville. I know, so he's one of your
yeah.
guys on that front.
Yeah, and but I think Kevin Austin's definitely gonna because he found the field with the Jaguars. It was in one of our down years, but even then, like an NFL talent guy is not gonna, you know. I think one of the ones that might hurt people is, and it's one of those age things because it's like I think all these players are great, right? I think all these players could win games, but it's like Deion
Mhm.
Kane is getting up there in age, and I'm not sure when he's gonna hit that wall. Like
Yeah, after his
there's
performance last year, I think he's
yeah
going to be sticking around.
yeah,
That's the
but it's
thing.
like because it's like for me it's he has a very similar skill set to like Cordero Patterson, right? So it's I'm like
Yeah,
I'm very scared that he might hit a wall, whether it's this season or next season. Um, but yeah, but I think he'll make the roster, but I'm just saying like he's one of those that you probably have a little exclamation point by just in case. But yeah, obviously I do not know that much about Benjamin Victor. Um, not really an Ohio State guy. Obviously we did a
yeah,
little deep dive on Chris Lacey a couple weeks back, but you're not gonna keep 9 guys going in with 58 spots. You might keep
six guys,
you
six
might
guys.
6. Yeah, that's
But
you might get 6,
yeah,
and which you're gonna have to cut 3, um, which would be very hard. Which if I had to pick 3, you'd probably end up picking. You pick. Let's say like you definitely pick. I don't say definitely pick, but like you. I'm going towards like Benjamin Victor, Barry Jennings, and then God. Uh,
yeah, you guys. I mean,
uh,
this is where you start like you got to probably cut some guys who have been around the team. I think
yeah.
unfortunately Mitchell or Williams are considered potential cut candidates. Like
Uh,
they're just they're just there. But
uh,
I it's kind of unbelievable like how much talent there is on this team that we are going
mhm,
to have to kind of unfortunately say thank you for coming, but
yeah.
we can't have you on the team. Like,
Yeah. And I
and
think
I think the 10th is going to be you're going to have some really upset fans at this rate.
and I think you probably keep all 3 tight ends if I had to guess. Um,
Mm.
and then
Oh yeah,
you
I
probably
think the
keep
tight end room's pretty good.
yeah, and then you have to cut. We have 12 offensive linemen, and you probably cut oh no, that's more than 12. My math is not mathing.
Oh yeah,
14 offensive linemen, and
yeah,
you probably cut 4 of them. Um,
yeah. I was gonna say you got that 10.
my offensive line game is not good, so I'll leave this up to the professionals. I do think
Yeah, we'll leave this up to the coaches.
yeah. Um, I will say one thing about center is that we've had Cabral and Schneider for a while now, so
Mm.
the addition of Josh Sokol, I'm not exactly sure where he would lie in all of that. And and then you get to D line, and it's like we have a grand
Oh yeah,
total
and there's
of
names that like
yeah, we have a
how do
grand
you cut
total
that?
of like 13 D line and edges. So and you probably want to keep another good chunk of them. So, but it's like
Yeah,
but we have to cut 17, right? And then
yeah, 17.
so one quarterback, one running back, 3 receivers, we're up to 5, and then 4 offensive linemen, we're up to 9, and
That's 9.
then
Yeah,
what another you probably want to keep. We can probably cut an extra D lineman, so we're up to 13. Um,
yeah.
and then linebacker. How many did we say we were
You
keeping?
probably need to cut
5.
2.
Cut
Yeah,
2. We're at
but
15. And then
yeah, you
you
get 2 more
cut.
cuts.
Yeah, you have 2 more cuts, and you have a ton of DBs. So yeah, so like I feel like no matter who you cut, which honestly, in that reality, you might even carry an extra receiver from where we were at there,
Mhm.
because then it's like you can probably cut a few extra DBs. Um, because like I just don't know. I don't know how many receivers they wanna really keep. I know sometimes the In the NFL, they'll keep an extra, like they'll keep more receivers or more DBs than they had previously. But
Mhm. Yeah, I guess that's the thing. It's like the way where we don't know exactly how Coach Skip Holtz is going to say. Okay, this is how we want to kind of play the game. This is the cuts we're going to have to make. And I am sure him and Zach are basically going all over this roster every single day, wondering, okay, these are the guys, unfortunately, right now we're probably looking at cutting already. Well, let's get to camp and then see how things are. Who knows? We could have
yeah,
an injury pop up where it's like, all right, unfortunately, we have this injury that kind of, says, okay, we don't have to worry about a
um,
cut now in this because we have an open slot now. So,
and it could be one of
well,
those things too. So it's like you're having all this different types of debate and stuff, and you bring in Bubba Bolden, and you bring back some of your other guys, and then you look at Eli Walker, and you're trying to find someone like they might have compared Eli Walker to someone else that's already in the DB core, and like, okay, well we have
mhm,
him, we need a different skill set, or at least a potentially different skill set. And then at that, like when we're
yeah,
talking about knocking it down to 58 players, there could be a guy with a different skill set who also they want to make sure, like they want to make sure because I think Eli
they
Walker,
have.
well, yeah, I think Eli Walker, it's like he could start on a bunch of other teams. So, like, if they had any inclination of him not starting on this team, that they would want him to be able to shine as bright as he could. I'm not saying that he would be against not start, or like, I'm not saying that he would, oh, I'm only going to play here if I can start. I'm just saying that, like, from a coach perspective, you're probably going to want to at least give a tip to the guy. Hey, we know you're a great player. We're not sure if we can give you the starting job immediately. Um,
Hmm.
but you never know. Like there's a ton of time, or really not that much time, but they've had a ton of time to come up with all this different stuff. There's a ton of different possible scenarios. So, but yeah, but we'll keep our eyes and
Yeah,
ears open, and we'll hope to hear from good old USFL PR or not USFL UFL PR
UFLPR.
UFL PR at some point because there was no I thought there was gonna be a few cuts today, and there was no cuts
Oh yeah,
today, no transactions. So
yeah. I personally think at this rate, we're not going to see any cuts or signings until the 10th. I think they're going to just run with this, and then maybe we see something happen after cuts. But at the but well, to be fair, actually, cuts are cut off until the 10th, so we
oh, I didn't
can't
know
say
that.
more.
Oh, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So all right. Well, Scout, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Southern Charm SP. It stands for Southern Charm Sports. And oh, and also, if you want to buy
Uh,
single game tickets to the UFL, you can use promo code Kickoff, and whether it's all uppercase, all lowercase, and to any single game event, I believe it's everywhere but Michigan as of this
I
recording.
mean,
Could be in
Michigan.
Michigan tomorrow.
I guess
Um,
something. I think Michigan's only doing it through StubHub. Don't quote me on that. But I think
yeah,
Michigan, the Ford Field has like a deal with StubHub. So
yeah, but we definitely want to help pack Protective on April 13th against Memphis.
mhm.
So, if you want to get your single game tickets, it's $22 to get in the door. It's a little bit, I believe it's a little bit more than single games were last year. But hey, you'll support your Stallions, you'll support your local team, and giddy up.
All right, and of course you can find me at Stallions UFM if you're looking for kind of a Buck Reacts stuff. So yeah, be sure to subscribe to the United Football Media channel. Be sure that if you like this episode, be sure to share it with everyone. Let people know, hey, if you're looking for a Stallions related show where every week we're going to talk about what's going on with the Birmingham Stallions, share it with your friends. Facebook, Twitter/X, Instagram, even. Be sure to put us out there and we'll be sure to give you guys your weekly Stallions news. So until then, stay safe and enjoy preparing for the UFL in less than not exactly a month, but we're nearing it. Every week, every day, we're getting a little bit closer. So until next week, we'll see you soon.